Welcome on into the First Round Fantasy Podcast, your home for second round advice. Gabriel Miramontes and Jacob Bartley. People say we look like twins sometimes. Would you agree or disagree, Jacob?
I mean, I would disagree, but I would say that we do. I could see us as brothers.
I could see that. I
Hey,
just
we're
don't
both
like.
mixed white and Mexican guys, so
Yes, very
makes
true.
sense.
And I don't like that people stereotype us as, oh, you both wear glasses, therefore you look alike. And I don't like that. I'm not.
It's just dark hair and glasses.
Seriously, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't like when people compare me
No.
like that. Oh, because I have glasses, I look like that guy. Not to say you're not good looking, Jacob. You're a handsome co-host. I feel obligated to say that, but still.
So, do we look like Harry Potter then? Is that what they're trying to say?
Nah, I don't want to look like him. I'm my own unique individual, and to be honest, I feel like I look much better in person. But ladies, I'm taking. Ooh,
Than Harry Potter?
See what I did there? Yeah, I'm way better than Daniel Radcliffe. Are you kidding me?
Damn.
I knocked that guy
I wish
out of
I had
the
his
park.
bank account though.
That's true. Me too. Welcome on in, everybody. Thanks for coming by today. If you're just stopping in, thank you. We see you, just like Star Drew here. Thanks for coming in, man. With that being said, if you haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe. But we know that we have to put the work in to earn your viewership. So please drop some questions in the chat. We'll be sure to answer them throughout the show. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at First Round Fantasy, or right here on YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcasts, such as Spotify and Apple Premium, or Apple. We're not that good yet, Premium. But anyways, we're talking week 7 of the fantasy football season today. Can you believe it, Jacob? We're halfway through it, baby. We are halfway to playoffs.
Goodness, I didn't even think about that.
Dude,
because playoffs are week 15, right? Week 15, 16, 17.
Yeah. Yeah. We are halfway.
By the way, I love the extra week has become seamless now. Like it feels like it was always 17 games, but I'm so glad for fantasy that we get an extra week. Like it used to be week 13 was the last week. And so it's like you get an extra week to fight for the playoffs. I love it.
Yeah, and now you don't end up with all these teams that are like, because how did it use? Oh, technically now we could have teams that are like that, right? I'm talking about like record wise, because when we only played 13 games, technically you finished 7-6, 6-7.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's an opportunity to finish 7-7.
Yeah, I mean it must have happened last season, obviously.
No, oh yeah. Oh my god, we shouldn't have.
It's the second season.
We'll cut this part out if we. Oh wait, we're live. What are we doing? Anyways, yes, thank you, Star Drew. Hello, how are you? Give us your hot takes this week. You're always chock full of them. There's the wifey. Are you guys on TikTok by chance? You know what? I'm not going to talk to you.
Technically, yes. Are we active on TikTok?
We got one video, Jacob. So we're active.
That's another question.
We're actively inactive, but we will get there soon. Johnny Quest in the chat. What's up? What's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. How's your fantasy season going, Johnny? I know you're playing in a couple of leagues. How they doing? Jacob, while we let them think about it, let's get into our question of the day. Hopefully you've had some time to think and debrief. Which rookie will you think be the most impactful rest of season? Now, we don't have to come at this from a fantasy scenario, but because we are a fantasy football podcast, you're more than happy to do so. But if you just want to give me a rookie, preferably offensive, that you think, can prove himself, maybe even provide you some strong fantasy value down the finish line, who is that guy? Who is he? Do you have one off, or do you need to think? Because I can give you mine.
Well, I'm wondering, the easy answer is Breece Hall or Dameon Pierce.
Sure.
So are we going away from the obvious answers is my question?
I mean, I guess the way the question was phrased was very rushed. But yes, Dameon Pierce, Breece Hall. Some might argue, no, I'd say just the running backs right now. But there are a slew of wide receivers. So let's say this. Let's rephrase it to wide receivers. Does that make it a little bit more interesting for you? Because we've had some ups and downs. we've had some steady flyers, and we've had some guys who it may be their time to emerge. So
good point. And I mean, I think when it comes to the running backs, I think Damian Pierce and Breece Hall are the only two, and everybody else is way far behind. But I think there's like 6 or 7 wide receivers, and I don't think it's been decided yet who's going to be the man for the rest of the season. Drake London was looking like he's going to take that spot, but it's been a little shaky lately.
Unfortunately.
Very low pass volume. And not like he hasn't produced well the past couple of weeks in general, even though Kyle Pitts was out and then didn't get a lot of production either. So I'm going to go with a man we talked about a lot, and that's Alec Pierce of the Indianapolis Colts. And
good call. Good call.
This guy, he's, last week I was watching the Colts game when he had that game-winning touchdown, right? And before that game-winning touchdown, he had a decent game, or not even a decent game. He was having a disappointing game. It was, if the game would have ended right there, people would have been very disappointed with Alec Pierce. I think he would have been dropped in leagues. There was one league where I needed a roster spot, and I was like, dang, I might have to drop Alec Pierce. And then he catches that game-winning touchdown, and I'm like, nope, I'm not dropping him. So I'm just saying, from what I've seen, he's been, he's played very well from just watching him in NFL games as an NFL player. But also, I'm not mad at the fantasy box score when I go check it, on Sunday or Monday. I haven't been disappointed in the past 4 weeks, and I don't know if any other wide receiver has been more consistent in the past 4 weeks when it comes to rookies. So I'm going to go with Alec Pierce, and he doesn't have much competition. I mean, Paris Campbell got going finally, but I just don't. I think it's going to be him and Pittman, Pierce and Pittman.
And another aspect of that is Matt Ryan, the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. He had a great game, 300. It's not every day your quarterback throws for 359, 69 yards, maybe even 89 yards. I'm going to have to fact check that. But just a really good game. Jonathan Taylor's coming back. I think that only helps that offense. I like Alec Pierce, man. I like him a lot. Technically, he could be considered a waiver wire ad this week. So if you got him this week, let us know. But he was on our radars for quite a long time. Jacob has him in a few leagues. I have him in a few leagues.
Yeah.
We liked him a lot.
I stand corrected. We have a comment in the chat. That's obviously Kenneth Walker has.
Yes.
He's right up there now with. I mean, he hasn't done it. He's done it in 2 games straight, but he hasn't. We haven't had a big enough sample size yet. But yeah, he's right up there with Pearson and Hall for sure.
Yeah. Kenneth Walker, quite the player, quite 100%. The guy. Took an unfortunate scenario for him to find his place, but he looks to be supplanted as a top. I don't know. Would you go top 15 running back the rest of the season?
I mean, yeah. I don't want to get.
That's RB. That's RB like 2-ish cusp 1 range.
I think that's being like you don't want to overdo it.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Sure. Let's not overdo it. Before I get into mine, let's get to Johnny Quest real quick. Traded the house for Hollywood Brown. I'm gonna get evicted. Would you drop him if you have other IR holds? It depends what those IR holds are, my man. But last I saw, he's only expected to miss a month. And first predicted he was going to miss like 6 or 7 weeks. So a month doesn't look too bad. Arizona's brought in a lot of new pieces. Not necessarily, but when you think about it, DeAndre Hopkins is making his return. Robbie Anderson has been traded there. The emergence of Rondale Moore. I mean, it might be interesting to see how long he actually takes. They might just decide to rest him even longer. I don't know. But it depends who your other IR guys are. And again, thank you, Kenneth Walker, Gio Ramos. We appreciate you. I wanted to talk about somebody, but I can't because we're going to talk about him later. See what I did there?
So you're not even going to answer your own question.
I guess I can talk about some other guys. I mean, we could just go down the list really quick. George Pickens, right? I think he's starting to emerge. I know he's in a lot of lineups as of now. In our dynasty league, he's in my lineup because he's like the only wide receiver I have. But that team is just awful. Anyways, but he's good. Chris Olave has emerged. He's kind of been consistent over the last 2 or 3 weeks. But we'll talk about him later as well. Let's see. Who else? We're just talking about a lot of rookie wide receivers. Garrett Wilson is another good one with Joe Flacco.
I mean, I kind of like all of them in some way. It's like I want a little bit of all of them, but I, man, like I talked about Alec Pierce, right? Because I just think like that would be surprised. Like if he finishes as the number one rookie wide receiver, that would be surprising, right? We'd be like, damn. But if I had to put money on it, though, I would go Drake London. I think he's just an alpha in this class. If I had to put money on it.
But you also made the point when, you can't throw the ball 16 times a game and expect to have fantasy production.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So we'll see. I thought it was going to be Garrett Wilson. It's a roller coaster, man. I don't know.
We'll see. Sarger, a little surprised that the Bengals Saint is the best shootout game last week. Well, hey, man, when you got cool Joe Burrow in the pocket, explosions are, I don't know. I couldn't finish that thought, but you know what I mean. Joe Burrow lit it up last week, so it was good for him. Jacob, let's get to some waiver wires and woes. Was there a guy this week you were eyeing on the waiver wire? Did you get him? Are you disappointed that you didn't get him? What are your thoughts?
So this was my like least active waiver wire week, and I think a lot of people kind of realize that this is one of the weaker weeks. There's always a couple of those weeks throughout the season, right? One of the weaker weeks in waiver wires, and of course it comes during the first major bye week. Like we had bye week last week, but it was only 2 teams, I think, and this week we have 4 teams. So of course the lightest waiver wire week comes on the bye weeks, but there's a few guys. I mean, like I said, my strategy for the most part, unless I desperately need a player, is let the Wolves fight over the rest. My phone started talking to me. Did I say, hey, Google or something? I don't know.
It's okay.
I just let my league mates fight over them, and then I go over and clean up the scraps. And in that sense, I like what I've seen from Paris Campbell, and I wrote this down in the notes. I wrote deep league ad. Like, I don't think you're starting him in a classic 10-team redraft league, but I mean, a lot of people had a lot of hope for Paris Campbell for many years, and it just never came to fruition. Unless I'm forgetting, I think he had a couple good games a few years ago, but this is his best game in a long time. And look, he had 11 targets. I believe he had a touchdown. So I like Paris Campbell. But the thing is Matt Ryan really going to be able to feed 3 guys and with Jonathan Taylor coming back? I mean, Deion Jackson got injured during the game. So did all of that lead to the passing volume? I'm going to say yes. But if you're looking for a deep league ad, I like Paris Campbell. And then also one more, I think it kind of flew under the radar. Joshua Kelly got banged up in that Chargers-Broncos game on Monday night. But prior to that, he was the go-to backup running back for Austin Eckler. And now I think he's going to be out for a few weeks. And I think you can pick Sony Michel up and have him as a similar Austin Eckler handcuff, whether you have Austin Eckler or not. So those are my 2 guys.
No, and those are great guys. I wanted to fact check myself, and I was right on the 3rd try. Matt Ryan threw for 389 yards. He also threw the ball 58 times.
Wow.
I don't think they do that when Jonathan Taylor comes back.
No.
But, I mean, hey, Deion Jackson, another guy. I think he can supply himself as an easy premier handcuff, especially now that Taylor's dealing with these injuries. I was nervous as a Taylor owner earlier in the year watching the Indianapolis Colts struggle like they did. I thought if they got too under the radar, too far behind, that they would kind of just ease it with Jonathan Taylor, being a running back and all. But they're pushing it. They're looking good. They're starting to play well. And Jonathan Taylor, Deion Jackson, great handcuff to have. And he's a great starter if you had him in your lineups the last 2 weeks, which hurt for my Fool's Gold the last couple of weeks. But anyways, doesn't matter. Some of the guys that I had on my end over here, let me get back to this tab here. Wan'Dale Robinson. That's all I'm going to say because we'll talk about him later. Let's see. Robbie Anderson. I don't know if you want to get interesting.
He's worth an ad.
You might as well see what he does. I mean, Kyler Murray slings it. That offense throws the ball a lot too. So you never know. He's a stash. Deion Jackson, who we just alluded to. Another guy. Oh, wait, Jacob, Greg Dulcich. I went on Monday night. I went to my waiver wires thinking, oh, like maybe in the deep dynasty league, like I'll find him. I can see him somewhere. Only to find out that for some odd reason, I mean, this is a rookie tight end. I get that. But dude, wait, did you draft him? Like, what's going on? What's the story behind
Okay,
Greg
first of all, I don't have Greg Dulcich in that league. Second of all,
but you have him somewhere.
Yeah, I had rostered him earlier on in the season, but somebody rosters him in our deep dynasty league, and I think I don't know. Okay, so going into the draft, they were talking about Trey McBride and Greg Dulcich as the top two tight ends, and he went to Denver, and then Trey McBride went to Arizona, and so I had my eye on Greg Dulcich since the offseason.
Sure, good eye, Jacob. Yeah. But holy cow, he's there. I mean, you got to think about it. First game of the season, and he already seen 2 touchdown targets, caught one of them. He completely put that other guy out. I think he was inactive.
Right, your buddy Jeff is the one who rosters Greg Dulcich in that league.
I got nothing on my team. I got to make a trade. I got to get the tight end of the future.
Hey, and I didn't know this, but Albert O was a healthy scratch.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other wide receivers here. I don't have the first name, so I'm just going to say the last name. Thornton. Wide receiver for the New England. Yes, thank you. Wide receiver for the New England Patriots. Nice little showing last week. I am still much a fan of Jacoby Myers, but that offense has been pretty good with Ben Zappi behind the helm. Maybe it's the matchups. Who knows? But I don't know. That's a deep ad. And the last one I have is someone who's currently on IR. That is rookie running back Kyren Williams, another player that I thought I could sneakily approach and find on the waiver wires today. Only to behold, Jacob, we play with some pretty cool people because he was snatched up in almost every single league already. And I just think with all the uncertainty that is the Los Angeles Rams backfield right now, with Cam Akers possibly about to get traded, the unfortunate injury history with Darrell Henderson, a guy like Kyren Williams could just find himself in big money positions, and it'll be big time for fantasy if you snag him. So if he's out there on your waiver wire, pick him up, hold him. He's easily an IR stash right now, so you don't have to waste a roster spot. You can just stick him right there in your IR. But yeah, those are a couple of guys this week. Waiver wire hose. Goodness gracious. Oh, we do the podcast at 7:30.
Waiver wire wins and woes. No, I agree with you, man. Working in education, and then like when you get off, it's like you're done for the day. It's like I just need to relax and chill, and we're doing stuff like podcasting and homework. But I will say, you mentioned something earlier that I've been thinking about a lot. Every time, like I listen to a few fantasy podcasts just because I like a few of them out there, and also I like to study the game that we're in.
Good call.
And I noticed, so every time they're like, "Oh, go pick up this player. He's going to be available in your league." Like nobody's paying attention to him. Every single time somebody says that on these other fantasy podcasts, I go and check, and somebody in our leagues roster them, and it's like we're mostly in 10-team leagues, so I'm like our leagues are very, very competitive. I think because like I hear like professional analysts saying like these players are available in their leagues, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's why we got to appreciate our guys. They're the inspiration. Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's get over to pig's feet. Jacob, have you ever eaten pig's feet before?
No, thank you.
Isn't it just pork rinds?
I don't know.
Anyways, pig's feet is 2-4 in a half PPR league. He's trading Jeff Wilson and Mike Williams for Montgomery and Jerry Jeudy. Am I crazy? I have Mixon, Khalil Herbert, Aaron Jones, Amari Cooper, Pitts, Mahomes, Garrett Wilson. You definitely have a team that is compiled of ups and downs. Jacob, you're laughing. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm laughing at Pig's Feet's profile picture. I just realized what it is. I didn't know
what
it was at first. No, it's like 2 dress shoes. Like it looks like 2 male dress shoes, and they're like touching toes. Like they're like touching feet.
This stuff that gets us going.
What that means?
I don't know. Can we zoom it in? No, we can't. Huh?
You guys, look, whether it's that or our viewers, first of all, have the best usernames, and the best profile pictures. Just gonna say.
Dude, maybe he works in the shoe industry. All right, give him a
maybe.
break.
But all right, 2-4. Welcome to the club. I'm 2-4 in a lot of leagues for some reason.
Currently 3-4, so I'll take. I'm 2-4. I'm 2-4 in a couple of leagues too. Yeah, man. I mean, the reason why you're doing this is because you're thinking, hey, Elijah Mitchell's coming back. Jeff Wilson is a rental, so you're getting that long-term play in Montgomery. As far as wide receivers are concerned, I like Mike Williams over Jerry Jeudy. You also might be trading Mike Williams because you think, hey, Keenan Allen's coming back, and in the one game they played together, Mike Williams was irrelevant. But overall, I think that trade is kind of a wash for me. Like, it doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you worse. It just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, this is a preference trade, and I'll tell you why I love this trade for your team specifically. You have Khalil Herbert. He has Khalil Herbert. And so because I would rather have Montgomery knowing I have Khalil Herbert than have Jeff Wilson, because I don't think Jeff Wilson is going to be the starting running back on the 49ers for the entirety of the season. We've seen it many times before. Either he gets injured or Elijah Mitchell's coming back at some point. Tyrion Davis-Price is going to get some more run coming up here soon. So like, I think you're getting out of the Jeff Wilson game at the right time. Mike Williams is a boomer bust player anyway, and Keenan Allen's coming back. And look, you're downgrading from Williams to Jeudy, but I like the solidness you're getting from Montgomery and Herbert. So good trade.
There you go. And Jacob, good call. I overlooked the Khalil Herbert. Yeah, man. I mean, he's a premium handcuff. You're acquiring the main guy. He's been great when Montgomery's been out. And I kind of zoned out there for a second. I apologize. But if you think Russell Wilson's going to have any semblance of figuring it out, then Jerry Jeudy is at best a flex play. Sorry, Jacob. Was that kind of what you had said?
No, I didn't. But okay. I don't know, man. Who's the Denver backup? Let's get him in there.
Well, hey, Pig's Feet, we hope you're still here, man. Thanks for listening. Take our advice.
Great
Don't
profile
take it.
Picture, by the way. I'm gonna do profile that one
picture.
Day.
You gave us a laugh. It was all the more fun. We appreciate you coming by. I think it's your first time, Jacob. We're small timers. Oh my
God. Is your dog waiting until you unmute and then they bark?
Jacob, I'll let you get this next question. Read it out loud, please.
Okay, 2 questions. PPR: McLaurin or Bateman, and Otten or Bellinger. So that must be Cade Otten, and then I think it's Jake Bellinger. McLaurin or Bateman? That is an interesting question. Look, you have Taylor Heineke coming back, and all I know is that McLaurin did a lot better with Taylor Heineke than he has with Carson Wentz. So I would go, and Bateman's injured. This is tough. If it wasn't for the Taylor Heineke thing, I would definitely go Bateman. But I think I'm going to lean McLaurin on that. And Cade Otten or Jake Bellinger. Is it even Jake Bellinger? I must be.
It is Jake Bellinger, tight end for the New York Giants.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, he looks good. I mean, that's a coin flip. I mean, it just depends. But obviously, I believe in Tom Brady. He's gonna get it together. So, and I think Cade Otten is going to be the starting tight end of the Buccaneers for the rest of the season. So I'm gonna lead Otten, even though he has more competition for targets, and I just think it's gonna be a better offense. But you can't go wrong with Bellinger either. They don't have a lot of pass catchers there. So that's a wash for me. But I'll go McLaurin on the Bateman and McLaurin side.
I'll play devil's advocate on the tight end side. I'll go Daniel Bellinger. They play Jacksonville this week at Jacksonville. Pretty exposable defense. Meanwhile, Cade Otten in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady, hey, he's been all right. He hasn't been what we thought. And with that being said, they go up against a pretty
Daniel
stingy.
Bellinger. It's not Jake Bellinger. I'm thinking of
Daniel Bellinger.
Dallas is Jake. There's a Jake tight end. There we go.
Whatever. We got it. It's tight ends. Why are we spending so much time on this? They're both going to get you 6 points first. No, but in all honesty, I go Daniel Bellinger. Jacob mentioned it, alluded to it. Less competition for targets. Tampa Bay plays Carolina. They're a little stingy, and I don't know. They could murder that team, and it could just turn into a run ball game all game long for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I go Daniel Bellinger. As far as the other side with your wide receivers, definitely Terry McLaurin over Rashad Bateman. I'm not starting him coming back from injury, even if he catches that 40-yard bomb. Not for me. Don't want a part of it this week. So, Fan First, you are tried and true, man. We appreciate you coming back week in and week out. Can't thank you enough. TS, Tua, Carr, or Garoppolo this week? I am, well, you know what's funny is I'm a hypocrite because I literally just said I don't want to start somebody who's just coming back from injury in Bateman, but I like Tua. If you want someone to explode, I like Tua this week. I got to look up matchups just to make sure. So while I do that, Jacob, you can give your thoughts.
I mean, Garoppolo's playing the Chiefs, Carr's playing Houston, and Tua, they are playing Pittsburgh. So that's interesting. So I would go Carr over Garoppolo just because, I mean, I don't know, man. Garoppolo, he had a decent game last week, and they're playing the Chiefs, which is probably they're going to be throwing the whole game. I would still go Derek Carr, to be honest. I don't know. I just think Carr's trustworthy. If you like in our leagues with our scoring, other than 1 week, he's getting me over 20 fantasy points a game. And like this year, I just don't want my quarterback to lose me my matchup. That's all I ask for. So I know Carr's going to get me 20 or more. So I'm good with Carr.
And I'll be honest with you. Sometimes when we get star-sit questions, I like to look at matchups. And ultimately, when you're looking at these guys, that's what you're trying to figure out, right? Do they have a good matchup? Are they a good streaming option this week? And Carr does play the Houston Texans, bottom of the barrel defense. They've been able to keep it composed against some competitors, mostly Trevor Lawrence. But Derek Carr, I think, is, as of right now, a step above Trevor Lawrence. Tua plays against Pittsburgh, who had some shining moments last week in their courageous fight with whoever they played. I forgot. It escapes me. But yeah, I'm going Derek Carr as well. Let's see. Running backs. Oh, it's a 2-part question. Mostert, Rondale Moore, Wilson Jr., Flex, PPR. I'm going Rondale Moore.
Rondale Moore.
I think even with the
Robbie Anderson. Oh, wow. Okay. So it's Hopkins' first week back. Robbie Anderson, they already said that if he plays, it's going to be very limited. But that could just be, honestly, that could be BS. But
I'm going Rondale Moore.
I want to go Jeff Wilson Jr., but I think I agree with you. I'm going to go Rondale Moore.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rondale Moore. On the pretense that he's in the slot, and even if Robbie Moore plays, he's just a downfield stretcher. He's going to create more room underneath for a guy like Rondale Moore to thrive. He's getting the targets. I don't think his position is changing whatsoever with the emergence of DeAndre Hopkins and the addition of Robbie Anderson. Other league, Ayuk, Mostert, Eno, Benjamin. Hey, if you want to go with the hot hand, you're going Ayuk.
Fire up Brandon Ayuk, baby. Let's do it,
man.
No bias there.
Too much time on that one. No bias at all. We appreciate you, fam, for TS. You're also a regular. Thanks for coming back, man. I appreciate you so much. We appreciate you so much. James Foote, I traded Godwin, Juju, and Elijah Mitchell for Debo, J.K. Dobbins, and Moon.
Wow.
What are your thoughts? Yeah. What are your thoughts? Initially, I said but you're getting Debo.
That's a great trade.
Sure, those are your initial thoughts. I like
right, so
Godwin for security.
Yeah.
I like Mitchell if he comes back and he is that guy. And Juju had his first great game, which might have been why you were selling him high. But I don't like the Bears offense, even if Mooney and Justin Fields are starting to play better with each other. J.K. Dobbins clearly has an injury bug. And Debo is not the Debo of years past, which actually, if you think about it, is great value for Debo. But it's a redraft league, and you're basing it off of what he's done this year. And he's not the same player as he was last year. I like the Godwin, Juju, Elijah Mitchell side. Jacob, you like the other side? Yeah, I do, man.
I think the other side is a clear winner, and I honestly mean no bias in this because I like Godwin. He's a solid player, but like he hasn't been the same in the past couple of years.
But could you argue the same about Debo? Let me look this up.
Okay.
When did Godwin come back? Week 4?
But I'm saying Godwin hasn't been the same for like over a season. Like last year, obviously he was injured, and then this year. And I just think I always say this: getting the best player. 9 out of 10 times, if you get the best player in the deal, you're winning the trade. And I think you're getting the best player in the deal. I'm not worried about Debo. You've seen him, the type of plays he can pull off in that Rams game a couple of weeks ago. And I just think he's going to be fine. I think Debo's going to be fine. And I just think he's a superior player of this entire group. And then obviously I would say Godwin is probably the second most valuable player in that group. So obviously you have to give something up to get Debo. And then the ancillary pieces, Elijah Mitchell's injured. Who knows what's going to happen with that. So I think it was a good trade.
I will say this. Chris Godwin came back in week 3, pretty much came back and supplanted himself. But week 5 and 6, Godwin has been the wide receiver 50. Oh wait, this is not even wide receivers. I'm just looking this up now. Let's see here. That's much better. Let me see, because he's still going to be higher than him. Godwin has been the wide receiver 18. Deebo Samuel has been the wide receiver 20. But obviously, Deebo has been healthier longer. Jacob, you are absolutely right. If you are getting the best player in the Deebo, which I do agree is Deebo Samuel, then you are getting the better side of the trade. I don't know. I like Juju. I like Godwin. I think those are good floors with a nice boom bust player like Juju, and then Elijah Mitchell's your running back. But you're getting the best player, man. So James,
I just think in terms of if I try to go offer Godwin for Debo right now in one of my leagues, they're going to say hell no. So think of it that way.
Think of it that way. Hey, James, you're definitely new. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming by, man, and giving us your questions. Thursday might be the best game over Sunday night and Monday night football. Oh, my God. Sarge, why do you always got to put us on the spot? Jacob, look up who plays tomorrow because we're just so burnt out. Appreciate it, fellas. Dude, we appreciate you, man. Don't ever say you appreciate us. We appreciate you. All right. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for being a part of this. Star Drew, what will the score be for the Houston Las Vegas Raiders? Las Vegas 26, Houston 21. Jacob? Yeah, okay. He doesn't care.
18-12, Houston.
Git says, if I tell you my team, can you tell me moves to make? I'm 1-5. Sure, man. Drop your team. I will say this, though. Gitz is a very nice gentleman because some people come into this chat and they just lay their teams out there.
They just drop their whole team out.
At least Gitz has the respectfulness to ask before. So, yeah, man, drop it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
So this Thursday is Arizona.
He dropped it, though, before I said
Wow.
Let's see, man.
Anyways, real quick, we asked about Thursday night. It's Arizona and New Orleans.
Oh, it should be a good game.
It's better than recent games.
We're going to be talking about it in a little bit here, too, by the way.
But next week, Raiders and somebody, I forget who. Raiders and Rams next Thursday.
2 awful teams. Great. Even though they're my team. I'm still going to be excited. Let's see. Gitz. He's got Dax, Saquon. I don't know who KW3 is. Cup.
Kenneth Walker.
Oh, thank you. Oh, good running backs. Good running backs. How are you 1-5? You have Cups and Diggs and Godwin? No. What's going on here? This is not a 1-5 team. Maybe if he was.
Well, look, Kenneth Walker wasn't playing obviously until last week.
Dak has been hurt. Schultz is nothing. You can drop him. Myers is fine. Bench is London.
And Godwin's been in and out of lineups, so he's needed Cup and Diggs to carry him. And that's not enough, I don't think. But he needs supporting cast.
He's had Saquon, Diggs, and Godwin.
That's interesting. I don't know, man. I have some stacked lineups where I'm 1-5 or 2-4. It's crazy. I don't know how it happens.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as making moves, I mean,
the weirdest fantasy year.
Dude, 1-5. I was 0-6 one time with a team very similar to this. Went on to get to the championship.
You can still make it.
I think you can still make it. Dak's coming back healthy. Kenneth Walker's going to come on strong. Saquon's doing his thing. Cup and Diggs are doing their thing. Godwin's a great wide receiver 3. And he's a wide receiver 2, and you have him as a wide receiver 3. Your tight end, drop Schultz. Figure it out. Find someone else. Just hasn't been doing anything. There's tons of great tight ends on the waiver wire.
Yes, Kate Otten, so maybe.
Yeah, there you go. That's a fine start this week over Schultz. Myers is a good bench guy. Yeah, man, you're good. There's nothing to say. That's a team that's going to make a push. So if you need to make a push with that team, man. Let's see. Pig's feet. Y'all definitely got.
I guess that's our new thing.
That's our new thing. I got offered Kenneth Walker and Kyler for Mahomes. Is it a redraft? Because it's a redraft, I really don't care. I could be stacked at running back with Walker, Mixon, Aaron Jones, and Montgomery after the Jeff Wilson trade. I mean, that's very true. If you're getting Kyler and Walker, I mean, Jacob, I would
take that trade.
Because if it's a redraft league, man, the disparity between
what is Mahomes like
rankings,
QB2 or QB3?
I'll look it up right now.
Mahomes is like in between QB2 and QB4, right? And then Kyler's like QB7. So it's like you get Kenneth Walker for a little bit of a downgrade. I mean, obviously,
it's much closer than that. Patrick Mahomes is QB4 on the year. There is a gap here. There's a gap, and I'll tell you that it's point differential. Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback 4 on the year. Kyler Murray is quarterback 6. Patrick Mahomes has 145 points. Kyler Murray has around 120. So when you think about that disparity, 25 points, that's enough to say, hey, my week was, if you fluctuate that out amongst the last couple of weeks, that's something. But you're also getting Kenneth Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyler Murray should be expected to play a little bit better as he gets his top-tier receiving option back. And that offense tries to find its way as something that's kind of been up and down throughout most of the year. And Kyler Murray gets it done with his legs. So you got to think that he just kind of continues to play strong. So on top of that, I like that trade. Kenneth Walker, Kyler for Mahomes, I'm doing it, especially in a redraft league.
Yeah, run that.
Run that. It is worth giving up Mahomes to solidify my team a bit. Yeah, totally, man. We agree. We got to keep reading the comments to see if they say anything else. We're going to answer a few more of these, Jacob, before we go to our before we get to our break here real quick. Blue Crew, you must be new to the Blue Crew. Because get it?
I like that.
We're like blue.
Dark blue and teal. Is teal a blue?
It's a shade, right? Half point PPR. I need 1 at the flex plus a backup. I don't really know, but Bateman, Pollard, Eno, Brian Robinson for me, or Alec Pierce. Jacob.
Need a flex plus a backup. Okay.
It's between those two to me. It's between those two. Brian Robinson, Alec Pierce. I like Brian Robinson a lot. I like Alec Pierce a lot. I'm probably going to half PPR. I'm going Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson got 5 goal line carries last week. Was able to make one of them. Well, 3 of them were on one possession.
And rarely do like the team come out and say this is our starter. Like they don't do that normally because they don't want the other teams to know. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to look at who Washington is playing.
I'm looking it up right now.
The Commanders.
They play at Green Bay, but that's an attainable matchup. And Alec Pierce plays against a very vulnerable Tennessee offense. I still like the touchdown upside and a half PPR. Well, you know what? Alex Pierce sees nothing but goal line work most of the time. He's catching those TDs. It's a tough call. It's a tough call.
I think if this was my team, I mean, I don't mind starting Tony Pollard either, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I just think if this was my team, I would probably roll with Alec Pierce, to be honest.
And I'd probably go with Brian Robinson. Sometimes you can't always get, the whole crew. Get it? Us too. But you can split it in half, like a half PPR league. See what I did there? You know what?
There you go.
I'm starting to wake up, Jacob. I'm starting to wake up. Blue Crew, you're new to the crew, man. We appreciate you coming by. Thanks. Do what you want with it. Have any other questions, feel free to shout them out. And one last question before we get to our break here. For fantasy purposes, where would CMC's best, worst landing spot be? Also, one place that would be a nightmare for that backfield. San Francisco, because if he goes there, he's destined to get hurt, and then he's just playing. It's just so sad. It's just so sad.
I mean, look.
Let's talk
if San Francisco traded for him, they're gonna use the crap out. Like he's gonna get a lot of. I mean, he already gets a lot of volume. But
he already gets a lot of volume, and you also have to think too that he's not getting any younger. He's 26 years old, and in running back years, that's kind of the twilight of his career. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I like him in San Francisco. I like him on the Los Angeles Rams, but I think that line is horrible.
No matter where he goes, but honestly, in San Francisco, think about this. So in Carolina, they have to depend on him a lot because like he saves their butt on a lot of plays, right? They can't get the ball to anybody. They just throw it.
Yeah, where's the nightmare? It'd be Carolina if he stays.
But honestly, San Francisco, there's other weapons there. Like they use Debo like the way CMC's used sometimes. So like I think he would see less work, to be honest. But yeah, look, only a team that's competing is going to trade for him, right?
Yeah, like right now we got the Bills, the Rams, the San Francisco 49ers. Those are
I
the only
think
ones I've heard.
best case scenario for fantasy is the Rams. I think they it would rejuvenate their offense. I think it would be Cooper Kupp and CMC show. Like nobody else is touching the ball. And so I think that I think the Rams would be the best opportunity. And I don't want him to go to the Rams because I don't want the Rams to be good. I'm a Niners fan. So I think that would be best. Nightmare. I mean, the thing is, he's not going to go to a losing team, right? So nightmare scenario is like, it might be going to the Niners or going to staying in Carolina, honestly. Or yeah, again, like if it goes to Buffalo, right? Are they really going to use Devin Singletary and Zach Moss and James Cook? Like, are they just going to let CMC get as many touches as possible? I don't know.
I can agree. I can concur with all that you said, Jacob. I do like it. I like your thoughts. Gets over here. I'm 1-5. It's a 12-man league. Yeah, we got the 1-5 part. 12-man league, dude. That's a good team for 1-12. Ride out the storm, dude. Ride out the storm unless an offer comes to you.
Yeah.
You know, you're more likely to get someone that comes to you and says, "Hey, this guy's 1-5. He doesn't care anymore. I'm going to try to poach his team." Those guys that come to you, see what they have to offer. Because you might be able to find something pretty valuable. But right now, your team's solid, man. You just got to ride the storm. That's what it is. That's what it is. James Foote, after the Debo trade, my 12-man league team is QB Mahomes, RB Swift, and Chubb. Wowzers. Wide receivers, Tyreek and Debo. Hey, man, welcome to the championship game. No wonder why he's got – wait, hold on. You know what?
Oh, after the Debo trade. Okay. I was going to say, how did he get Debo and Tyreek? But it was the trade. Yeah.
Change your profile pic. You don't even have Diggs on your team, man. Get it together, dude. You better change it to Swift or Chubb or Tyreek.
Maybe he has Diggs on another team. Who knows?
That's true. He's only talking about one league. James.
Or maybe that's Stephon Diggs,
I appreciate you, James. I appreciate you. Speaking of the Niners, no, I don't want to talk about the Niners. Would you start Jimmy G or Goff this week?
Neither do I.
Or pick up Geno. Dude, look. Jared Goff's playing the Dallas Cowboys, pretty stingy, but they're also going to be down. They're and they're coming off a bye. I think he's going to be slinging it a lot this week. Should have him on Ron St. Brown this week. Jared Goff also has a pretty good match, or Geno Smith also has a pretty good. No, he had to have been listening earlier. Now I just can't think about it. Dang it.
Hey, so all right, I'm going to say 75% of the time that you see me bursting out laughing on the podcast, I'm thinking about something else or I see a comment. It's nothing that like we're actually talking about. So
yeah, no, we don't have any background code.
All right, so I'm gonna say you're gonna do something that I just did. I'm so happy because now I know what because I used to only play on Yahoo, so we only do midnight waivers, but we're on Sleeper now and we get 7 p.m. waivers or whatever. And I just got Geno Smith in because I have Josh Allen in a league. And I just got Geno Smith off waivers. I'm very happy about that. Before last week, Geno Smith was leading the league in QB efficiency. He had the highest QB rating. It was insane. And I'm like, just one week. He had one bad game last week. It's not going to change that. So I would go you better go pick up Geno Smith right now. I'd rather start him over those two guys. And I did choose him over those two guys because I could have picked those guys up and I waited to get Geno Smith and I might have not got him, but I did.
Listen, they're playing the Chargers. Geno Smith had a down week last week. The Chargers had a down week on Monday Night Football. Those teams are looking to explode in points. Geno Smith is going to do his thing, which is kind of like a new thing that he's doing, which is like being good. But yeah, man, I'd go Geno Smith as well. So, hey, I appreciate you. We appreciate you. That's a start sit question. So if we get it right, I don't really want to say your name. I feel like I'm going to say it wrong. I'm just going to say it. S. Nagra. I'm going to say it with a Spanish flair. If we get it right, man, you got to like and subscribe. And if we get it wrong, come back next week. Give us another try. And no, we are not twins. Is that why you were laughing, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm just...
Dude, maybe we should just say we are. Maybe that's like part of our brand. Like the fantasy twins.
The Blue Crew. I don't know.
I feel like when people think about that, though, they might think of like women. And then next thing you know, we're going to have like
the fantasy twins. Wow.
Yeah, see?
Interesting.
Sometimes we're 18 and over podcast, guys. We apologize. But anyways, I keep wanting to get to the break, but I also want to get to you guys. Chris, he got offered CD in a 2023 12th round. I don't know what that means in a Dynasty League. For my 2023 4th round pick, hurting at wide receiver currently, 3-3. Thoughts? Appreciate it, guys. Dude, I don't know what your 12th round is or any background knowledge on it, but if you want to win now, then you take the trade. Like, I would do CD for a first. It's some type of dynasty league. So if that's a 12th, yeah, dude, I would do it.
Wow. A 4th round pick? I mean, I want to know more details about the structure of the league, but
yeah, because that's what
let's just say hypothetically, like, because we play in a couple dynasty leagues. If somebody offered me CD Lamb for my 1st round pick, I would do it in a heartbeat. Because why do we want 1st round picks? We're looking to acquire future superstars. If you could just get a superstar right away, do it.
Yeah. Get it lined up. Yeah, same. I agree 100%. The Fantasy Twins, Jacob, we just found our new name, and it's all thanks to S. Nagra.
There we go, man. I guess so, but I hope people don't get confused, because if you type that in Google, good luck.
What are they going to find, Jacob? Have you typed it in before? Was that the first name you thought of? Like, hey,
it might be like two.
I'm going to type. We're going to be the Fantasy Twins, and then you look at it. Oh
it
no,
might be
we can't.
2 cosplayers that dress as wizards and go to Comic-Cons throughout the.
I'm going to brave the storm right now. I'm going to brave the storm here on air.
Oh my goodness. Okay, just don't share it on screen. All right.
I'm not. Oh, you know what? It's a lot of anime. We're good.
Yeah, I was thinking like wizards and anime and cosplay type stuff, but
and there's also a musical group called Fantasy Twins that are also into anime. So cool. Wait, what if I go images? Hold on. Alyssa's gonna get mad at me. Ooh, it gets a little bit. Okay. Don't do images. It gets a little bit more risque, but it's gentle. It's gentle. Thanks, guys. No, Chris, thank you, man. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you, man. Be sure to like and subscribe if we feel like you've given you enough good advice. And if we got it wrong, come back next week. Let us try again, man. We want to earn it. Okay? It's a weird league, 2-player keeper. Yes. It's okay, man. We play in weird leagues too, like that stupid.
Yeah, we have a 6 keeper and a 3 keeper and 2 dynasty leagues, and
yeah, but the 3 keeper league is my least favorite, so I understand the uncertainty.
I would still do it where we have like 30 roster spots.
I would do the Lamb trade. I would do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's just laughing. Yeah, man, it was funny. It was a good time. No, hey, okay, now we got to take you off. Nagra. Calm down in the chat, dude. Keep it professional.
That's about as risque as we can get right there, that comment.
James Foot, do I drop Russ for James Conner?
Yes.
Yeah, do it right now. Or Taysom Hill starting.
I thought the question was, do I drop Russ? And I said yes.
And don't drop.
Can I say I feel so free. I feel so lightweight. I finally cut Russell Wilson. Goodbye. Good riddance. I'm moving on.
Good. I'm glad you said your piece, because he also says, or should I start Taysom Hill, but his tight end is Andrews? No. Keep Andrews in there. Hill is a mind bomb, and he's going to be on benches.
I think he's saying like start one of them in the flex, but.
Oh. No. Yeah. Keep it how it is.
No, yeah, but drop Russ for James Conner.
For sure. Hit accept. Thanks, my guys. Accept.
Oh, he accepted the trade.
Oh, let's go.
I think it's the Mahomes and Kenneth Walker one.
No, that wasn't that one. That was the CD
Lamb. Oh, the CD Lamb one. Yeah, get it.
Do it.
Get it.
Good job. Hey, if it all goes down in flames, you can come here and just let us know, man. We'll take responsibility for it. Jacob, it's time. We got to thank our sponsors, man. Let's go ahead and shove it over to Manscaped. What am I doing?
That works. It works.
Yeah, let's go ahead and shove it over to Manscaped for our sponsor this week. Here is your preview of Manscaped.
Support for the First Round Fantasy Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FRF Sports. See, way before First Round Fantasy partnered with Manscaped, I have been using their products. No lie. I bought one of their previous lawnmowers, and honestly, it is the best grooming product I've ever used. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping. And we all know how expensive shipping is right now. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use FRF Sports. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
And just so you know, every time you support Manscaped, you're supporting First Round Fantasy. We appreciate all of you for coming in and supporting us. Can't do it without you, and we couldn't do it without
and
Manscaped.
I do want to say again, if you don't want to break the bank, just buy the nose hair trimmer. I'll say it again. Started using it. Best one I've ever used. No tug, no hurting. Check it out.
They got shirts and chapstick on there too.
Like
they got tons of stuff,
yeah.
all at an affordable price. Go ahead and give them a shout out. And use our code, get some money off. It's Christmas time. Could be that perfect gift
timing
for the bro that needs a shave. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, let's get into our Fool's Gold. Jacob, we're going to pause. Oh, I was just going to say we're going to pause, but we got one. So let's fit it in really quick because we got to get to our stuff, my man. Trade London and Godwin for Debo. Jacob, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier. You would do this trade, London and Godwin for Debo in a redraft league. You would do it.
100%, yeah.
Let's do it. Get it done. Get it done. Let's get into our Fool's Gold players of the week this week. Jacob, you weren't here last week, so you didn't have anybody in risking the pot. I went with Najee Harris, and that was a hit. And it's probably going to continue to be a hit until they figure out what's going on with that offensive line. Also, I read a weird story that Najee's apparently been playing with a steel plate in his foot for the last 4 or 5 weeks. So now he's apparently at 100%. So maybe it turns around for him. But this week, we're changing it up. We're going with Fool's Gold first, and I'm looking to get 2 in a row. So I'm going to start off with mine, and that is wide receiver Chris Olave of the New Orleans Saints. He plays tomorrow. So if you're listening live, you got a good one because you're getting the insider knowledge right now. And we also aren't going to be able to put a clip out, but it's okay. He is currently the number 1 wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. That's because guys like Michael Thomas and whoever else is there are currently injured. You guys got guys like Alvin Kamara. You have players like Troutman and Juwan Johnson. Sure, I think there's mouths to feed, but the wide receiver corps, Chris Olave is the top. And there's nothing that the Arizona Cardinals do than stop opposing number 1 wide receivers. And just to kind of go back and take a look, let's walk down memory lane. They have faced Devontae Adams. They've held him to under 10 points. They faced Cooper Kupp. They've held him to under 10 points. And in that game, he had 16 fantasy points. One of them was a 20-yard rushing touchdown. They have held, DJ Moore, which he's a shadow of himself this year. They've held, AJ Brown. And they've also held DK Metcalf, all to under 10 fantasy points this season. And those are no slouches, except for DJ Moore this year. With that being said, I just don't want any part of him. That's enough evidence to tell me that I am not going to trust him in my fantasy lineup this week. It's a weird QB room as well. I don't really like it. With Dalton, they haven't even named their starter yet. Jacob, how uncommon is that? They have not named their starter this week, and that doesn't make me feel any better about starting him. I kind of like him a little bit more with Winston as opposed to Andy Dalton, but I got to be honest. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. He is not a guy that I want to start. Some other guys that I'm going to start over him this week, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins upon his return, obviously. Christian Kirk, who's had a few down weeks, I'm starting him. And that's about it. Those are all guys that I got above him. I'd even start Cortland Sutton this week. And I know a lot of people don't like Cortland Sutton. That's how much I am fading Chris Olave this week. Sleeper currently has him Sorry. You want me to stop, Jacob?
Oh no, sorry. I was just clearing my throat. My bad.
Goodness gracious, man.
I should have muted.
Sleeper currently has him for 12 projected fantasy points. I think he goes under that as always. That's what we do here on the First Round Fantasy Podcast. Chris Olave, that's my guy. Jacob, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is for your fool's gold, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. It scares me because like he's very, very talented and he can he's the type of player that
Cup, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, are they not talented, Jacob?
You're right. So good.
Arizona,
not a bad choice.
They give up points, but it's just what they do. They shut down the number one wide receiver. It's their thing, man. I don't make the rules up. That's what they're doing. Any other thoughts to close it out?
Nah, man, that's a good choice.
Well, then there you have it. Chris Olave, wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints, is my fool's gold player for week 7 of the fantasy football season. Jacob, you're up.
Awesome. Yep. I'm going to go. This one's not too surprising, but I do still think he's considered the number one on his team. And I think he's in most starting lineups for teams that roster him. And that is Courtland Sutton of the Denver Broncos. Now, I'll start this by saying I don't mind if you bench every single Denver Bronco that is fantasy relevant. If any of them are on your benches, I will not blink an eye. Like, it's just, who do you feel comfortable starting? I don't feel comfortable starting Russ. Melvin Gordon barely played, and the coach did not have some good things to say. And the wide receivers have not been doing it, right? Now you look at their matchup this week. And 2 years ago, if I said this, you might have laughed. But they were playing the New York Jets. The New York Jets, and I owe this tidbit to my buddy Jeremy Cravat. He runs a YouTube channel called Jets Chaos. Go check it out on YouTube if you can find it. He's a diehard Jets fan. He pointed out to me that because we talk Jets every time I go into work, and he was talking about their cornerbacks. And of course, they have Sauce Gardner, who we all know about. High draft pick coming out, looking like a baller. He was the one wearing the cheese head after the Packers game this past week. But they don't only have one shutdown corner. They have two. And they have DJ Reed, who's also a shutdown corner. Now, it's kind of like, look, I'm not saying either of these guys are Patrick Surtain. That guy's a monster. Love watching him shut down wide receivers. But, like, it's like having two of them. And so, like, it's not like one of them they can put one on Judy and Courtland Sutton's going to be wide open. I just think, first of all, look at the Denver games. They're all low scoring. So, like, are any of the wide receivers going to do anything? Second of all, look at these corners that they're going to have to play against. On top of that, their pass rush is good. Russell Wilson's apparently banged up. We don't even know if he's going to start this week. It's a disaster in Denver. Stay away from Courtland Sutton. And I would say he's probably the best, most fantasy relevant player on Denver. So that means you're benching all Denver players, but bench Courtland Sutton.
Yeah, man, I hear your thoughts, and it is what it is. It is not the team that you thought it was going to be when Russell Wilson took over. Courtland Sutton, he's had a few games, but mostly down. The New York Jets are quite the defense this year. A lot of people have seen, like, hey, the Jets are blowing teams out of the water. Well, they're not doing it with the arm of Zach Wilson. He had 5 fantasy points last week. They're doing it with Breece Hall, and they're doing it with their defense. So I don't like it any more than you do, Jacob. That is a fine pick. That is Jacob's Fool's Gold Player of the Week, Courtland Sutton. Jacob, nice pick. Let's take a look here. Why is no one talking about Gus Edwards? He is so sneaky, dude. Well, because you said that, not only do I have him in one of our Rio leagues, I just picked him up on our Beers Drinker League. I did that live on the show while Jacob was giving his Fool's Gold Player. You're right, Pixby. No one's talking about it. J.K. Dobbins is dealing with knee issues right now. Kenyon Drake isn't that type of running back that's just going to come with volume. I will say we're probably about a good full week away from a Gus Edwards return. Is Dobbins healthy there? Sure. Am I really kind of questioning what I just did in Beers to pick him up? Yes. because I don't want someone to pick up the guy that I just dropped. But that's what I do when people like Pig's Feet bring up good thoughts. And I thought that was a good thought, man. So I appreciate you, Pig's Feet. Jets, they're going to be pretty good. Dude, I don't know how, but they're doing something good because it's not Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson looks good. He makes clutch throws for fantasy purposes. He just hasn't done it yet. But hey, you know what? The NFL goes on even when fantasy isn't going right. And they're winning. So you got to support that and you got to appreciate what they're doing out there. Jacob, you ready for dark horses?
I am.
Let's do it, man. Last week, it was Rondale Moore for me. He had 12.9 fantasy points. I said he was going under 12. I'm sorry. He had like 11.8 fantasy points. And
sometimes it's like 12. A push.
You know what? Hey, I didn't push it, man. I didn't push it. So I'm leaving it as it is. That's just because I know this week I'm going to smash it out of the park with this guy. And that is, drum roll, please. Jacob, I said drum roll, please. Okay, you can stop now. Now it just feels forced. I wanted it to be very much in the moment.
Wait, you're supposed to like say your thing. Yeah, that's when I stopped.
It was all bad. It was all bad. We'll get it right later. Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver for the New York Giants. I like him this week, and I'm going to tell you why. He is currently the only healthy wide receiver on the New York Jets, along with Darius Slayton. And that's a plus. He's easing back from injury. Last week, he only had a 23% snap share, and that's not a lot. It's not. They're clearly easing him back into the fold. But what's also very uncommon is somebody with a 23% snap share seeing 4 targets. Seems pretty good to me. One of them was an end zone target, which he converted into a touchdown, which in turn he turned into a nice fantasy day. Okay? He welcomes in a Jacksonville defense that we alluded to earlier. Is middle of the road, very explosible through the air. A lot of weak corners out there, which I think Wan'Dale Robinson can fit right in and find some cozy targets. And also, you just kind of have to think, the New York Giants, they're not a bad team. They're a good team. It's time we start saying they are. And Wan'Dale Robinson is only going to make the team better. He is the player that the team drafted. You hear all these problems right now, like with Kadarius Toney and what's going on with him. He's a possible trade candidate right now because that's not who the current regime picked. He's giving them fits and toughs. And Wan'Dale Robinson is a player that this team drafted to do a very particular job. And I think he's doing it. Even if his snap share goes up to 45% this week and he sees 6 targets, I think he's explosive. I think he's shifty. I think he could do something special. His sleeper projection right now is currently 7 fantasy points. But here, our baseline is always 12. So I think he definitely finds some fantasy success this week. And he's right above that 12-point threshold, making him a fine flex play in your lineup. And I always like to kind of give some players who I think, obviously when I'm sitting down and I'm thinking about these guys, Darnell Mooney. I like Wan'Dale Robinson over Darnell Mooney this week. I like him over my Fool's Gold player this week, Chris Olave. That's how confident I am. I like him over Jerry Jeudy. You just alluded to a Fool's Gold player in Cortland Sutton. We didn't even plan that, by the way. And I also like him over a guy like Drake London, who goes against Chicago or Cincinnati this week, who's been pretty stingy of late, and a team that only throws the ball 14 times a game. So, Jacob, any thoughts about the man, the rookie, Wan'Dale Robinson?
Yeah, man. I mean, I like him. He didn't have an amazing game last week, but he showed some promise. I mean, no Giants wide receiver since Sterling Shepard went down has shown any promise there this year as far as being fantasy relevant, which is crazy because, a lot of times when you have these teams like the Chiefs and the Rams a few years ago, it's like great teams usually equal great fantasy players, not necessarily with the New York Giants other than Saquon Barkley, right?
Yeah,
so
much.
We're finally starting to see like Bellinger and Wan'Dale emerge, and it's like, okay, these are the guys that we can kind of depend on out of nowhere, but hey, that I'll take it. And I'm honestly, I have a little bit of FOMO with Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't have him in any dynasty leagues. I don't like in a redraft league. It's whatever. Like it depends if you have room for him, but like he's got a little bit of FOMO. Not gonna lie.
Hey, well, I have plenty of shares of him, so he's all yours if you want him. But with that being said, I like how you talked about it. The good teams have fantasy success. The Giants are a good team, and these guys are starting to emerge. I think Wan'Dale Robinson emerges this week, and maybe he's here to stay. I don't know, but he's certainly a fine play this week, which is why he finds himself as my dark horse for week 7 of the fantasy football season. Let's see what we got here from Pig's Feet. Thoughts on Kyron Williams? Rip Cam Akers. Yeah, man, you tuned in just a little bit late. We talked about him at the very start of the show. He's a guy I like, man. I mean, it's an uncertain situation right now with Cam Akers. Like you said, RIP. Darrell Anderson, certainly injury prone, unfortunately. Knock on wood. I hope my dog doesn't bark. Okay, we're good. But with that being said, Kyron Williams, he's on IR. So he's not filling up a roster spot. He's filling up an IR spot. So he's a fine stash indeed. Jacob, how we doing, man? How we doing? We're almost to the end of our show. Questions are slowing down. We got some new people in the chat today. Chris, Pig's Feet, James Foot. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for showing us some love. You ready for some gut start sit today, my friend?
After I give my dark horse, yes.
I was just so excited about mine. But yeah, dude, it's your turn. Take it away.
Yeah, so my dark horse is Clyde Edwards-Helaire of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, look, he hasn't had the last couple of weeks. He hasn't had a good game, and I think Gabe is laughing about skipping over my dark horse. I think that's what he's laughing about. But yes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and the reason why I bring this up is because earlier in the week I was gonna bench Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I was talking to somebody about it, and we were discussing about it, and wait a minute, the 49ers defensive line is all banged up. And yes, because of how good they have been throughout the season, they are, one of the best teams against the run, like top 3 or 4 against the run for the season. But their defensive line is definitely banged up. We saw that game against Atlanta. Look, Tyler Algier didn't have a great game, but he still put up 15 carries for 51 yards on a supposedly shut down Niners run defense. So coming into this game, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, look, we know he's sharing the ball with multiple players, with Jerick McKinnon, with Isaiah Pacheco. But we saw earlier in the year that he was finally having the most consistent season in fantasy so far in his 3rd season. And I believe in the player this week. And look, he's going against my Niners. So it's not, I'm not going to be like, oh, no one can run on the Niners. No, I'm not coming at it like that. I'm willing to start him. I think he's a decent flex play this week. I think he's going to get enough on the ground and enough in the air, maybe a touchdown or 2. So I was looking at starting some wide receivers over him in my last flex spot, but I'm rolling with Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week. I think it's going to be not a high scoring game, but I think there's going to be enough offense to go around to where Clyde is going to get his. So I feel comfortable with him in my flex.
I want to kind of test your knowledge about how confident you feel. I mean, he is going up against probably the number 1 rushing defense in your San Francisco 49ers this week. So
yeah, but they're all injured.
That's very true. They're missing 7 or 8 guys.
They all sat last week. So I'm saying some of them might play this week, but they're not 100% healthy is what I'm saying.
Okay. One question. I'll just give you one start sit. And he also comes up in our gut start sit, so you're going to get 2 questions. Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Najee Harris this week?
Najee.
It's hard that you would have both. Let's see really quick. Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Brian Robinson Jr.?
Clyde. I go Clyde.
Okay. All right, man. There you have it. Jacob, that's a fine pick. Again, it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jacob's fantasy dark horse for week 7 of the fantasy football season.
I might have to cut you out of that clip, man. You're just laughing the whole time. It looks like you're laughing at my take.
No, because I totally skipped over you, man. And then I don't know. I felt bad.
You know what's funny? I almost just let it go. I almost went with it. I just, but then I was like, wait a minute, Clyde.
in my head, I always go to weird places. In my head, I was like, I wonder if he thinks I'm just I don't care about Jacob. Screw him. I just want to get done with the show.
I think you were thinking about your Google search from earlier. That's why.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Hey, a new face. Let's say hi. Peoples-Jones, Brian Robinson, Zay Jones, or Josh Reynolds in the flex this week. Brian Robinson Jr. I've been saying it all night, and I'll say it again. I like him this week. I like him a lot. Josh Reynolds might be a close second, but not close enough for me to steer away from Brian Robinson Jr. Again, goal line work is easy to come by. Green Bay hasn't been what they are this year. I like Brian Robinson Jr., man. Guaranteed 15 to 17 carries and probably finds his way in the end zone. Jacob?
That's interesting. Yeah, but I would definitely, I agree with you. You went with Brian Robinson, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I would 100% go with Brian Robinson. And I wonder if is that the real Jon Stewart? Is he like secretly a fantasy football nerd and he's just going on random YouTube channels and getting advice?
That could be true, but also I feel like he'd be one of those guys that actually puts his face on his profile.
That's true. Why would he have his name and not his face?
Why would he be sneaking around? He's Jon Stewart. Or point. Because he's too famous? I don't know. But whatever Jon Stewart you are, we appreciate you, man. Definitely. Thanks for coming out. And the motto is, if we get it right, you got to come back. You got to like. You got to subscribe. If we don't get it right, come back next week. Try again. Give us another chance. Thank you, Jon Stewart. We appreciate you. And really quick, David Tulane, busy this week, but just good stuff as always, guys. Hey, man, we appreciate you, dude. Thanks for stopping by, dude. As always, thank you so much. Marquise, should I trade Mixon and A.J. Brown for Adams and Ramondre? Mixon, A.J. Brown for Devon. Is this redraft? No, I wouldn't do it. It depends.
Yeah, I'm going to take all questions as redraft unless they say otherwise.
Fair enough. Dude, no. Because I like Adams and I like Mixon. Ramondre Stevenson could be a rental. We don't know what happens when Damian Harris comes back in a week or so, and A.J. Brown is so boom bust. It's a fair trade, but what side do you like more, Jacob? Who's the best player? That's what we've been talking about, right? That's how we focus all trades. It's redraft, by the way. That's what he says.
I don't know, man, because this is a really tough one. Like you can say either of them are the best player. Honestly, I think all four of those could argue that are the best player. But the thing is, when is Damian Harris coming back? We don't know. So, and it's I don't trust Bill Belichick long term with a fantasy running back. It's just no. So, man, I would just stick with Mixon and A.J. Brown just to be safe. Because the Adams thing is up, the Adams thing is shaky, and then stick with Mixon and AJ Brown.
I love Devontae Adams. You know what? Let's create some turmoil. Adams and Ramondre Stevenson for me. But he gives us a little insight really quick. His team is Burrow, Mixon, Jacobs, D-Hop, Higgins, Monty, AJ Brown, Miles Sanders. I mean, you have the running backs to give up Mixon, and then if Stevenson comes back, or if Harris comes back, you still have Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, and Miles Sanders. So you're not losing a lot there. You have to think Devontae Adams is a little bit more consistent, even though he had the one down week in week 2. There, I'm kind of fine giving up Mixon, to be honest, because you're getting the better wide receiver, I think, in Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I think this is a preference trade. Look, you're trading a wide receiver 1 for a wide receiver 1 and RB1 for a current RB1 that might not be an RB1 all season. So, it's not an unbalanced trade. It's which guys do you like more, honestly?
Fair enough. Marquise, we've given you our 2 cents, man. Thanks for stopping by. If you make the trade, like and subscribe. If you don't make the trade because you're these guys are just a bunch of gibberish, then come back next week and listen to more of our gibberish, and maybe we can persuade you then. All right. Pig's Feet, he wanted to give us an update. Update alert. He got offered. Dude, what? Is this just fantasy football? It's never ending, dude. It's awesome. I love it. Update alert. He got offered Breece Hall for Aaron Jones and Amari Cooper. I'd do it.
I would do it too.
Yeah, just to have fun. I mean, he's something special, man. He's finally coming up. Amari Cooper, he's there one week. He's not there the next. Sure. You can wait for
Packers
Watson
are
to come
struggling.
back.
Yeah, I would do this for sure. You better accept it right now.
Dude, we just completely turned around Pig's Feet team this week. That's exactly what we did. That's exactly what we did. Let's see, Jacob. Now, are you ready for Gut Start Sit?
I am. Yes.
All right. Let me get this timer set up here. You have not looked at it, just so we can tell the crowd.
I have not. I
seen
promise.
It. Perfect. I have my stopwatch. We really got to get through 25 seconds, man. Come on. Today, that's the goal. I'll give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And I'll go quick. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It starts after I read the first question. Alec Pierce at Tennessee or George Pickens at Miami?
Alec Pierce.
Russell Wilson at the New York Jets or Justin Fields at New England?
That's disgusting. Russell Wilson.
Brian Robinson Jr. versus New York or Clyde Edwards-Helaire at San Francisco?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, baby.
Wan'Dale Robinson at Jacksonville or Kenyon Drake versus Cleveland?
Wan'Dale.
There you go. There you have it. That was good. Starts it. Jacob.
I even got in a that's disgusting, and I still finished under.
Yeah, and it was a nice pause and everything. Well, I will say this. You only had 4 options today. There's usually 5.
Okay.
I was that one.
But
we're getting there. We're getting there into a nice little rhythm. Marquise says, thanks, man. I should have kept Chase, but I had too many Bengals. Oh, I get it, bro. I get it. I've had too many Bengals players before. I mean, Burrow, Mixon. I had Higgins, not Chase, but I get it. Let's see. Thanks. He said the same comment twice. Hey, man, it's okay. It's all good. You got to do what you got to do. Marquise, thank you so much for coming by, man, saying hi, giving us your thoughts. We love to be that sounding wall, bounce your comments off of us. Just talk. We could be that secret that no one in your league knows about. That's right.
Exactly.
Star Drew, 45 seconds. And, I like Star Drew. 20 seconds. Yeah, we got, but there was
baby.
We only had 5.
In the past, I spent too much time thinking about it. This time I just.
Dude, it's gut start, bro. It's gut start.
Exactly.
It's not wait 2 seconds a pick and think again. All right, man.
I did have to think about the Justin Fields and Russell Wilson.
It's a gross one.
That was terrible.
I kind of like Justin Fields because his rushing up.
I almost went Justin Fields. But,
dude. No. Anyways, you ready to get out of here, man?
Let's go, baby.
Perfect. Guys, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for dropping a like. Thank you for subscribing. We had a few new subscribers today, so thank you so much for coming by and doing that for us, doing that with us. This is a movement. You are doing this together, and it's all because of you guys, so thank you so much. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at First Round Fantasy. We drop some thoughts sometimes, but most importantly, you can find us here on YouTube where our twin faces are together. Okay. We are not twins, by the way. Or you can find us anywhere else you listen to your podcast, Spotify and Apple, to name a few. Jacob, we've been shouting out the DFS show for a while now. I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see.
Waiting on you, buddy.
Waiting on me, I know. Hey, really quick. Marquise says, good show. So indecisive on this trade. I might flip a coin. Sometimes that's what you got to do, bro. Jacob likes one side. I like the other. It's just what it is. You can't. It wouldn't be a good show if Jacob and I agreed on everything. You know what I'm saying?
Which players do you like more? Which teams do you like watching more? Sometimes I let that decide.
There you go. But hey, guess what, Jacob?
That's what's up.
Marquise, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. It means so much to us. And Tyler Cooper on the way out. He's coming on in with the Flames, baby. Go check out Coach Coop on Facebook gaming. He's probably getting a winner chicken dinner right now over there playing PUBG. And then, hey, Tyler, sorry about the 49ers game. Jacob, they're talking. We got to get out of here. I already gave my outro. So with that being said, thank you again. We appreciate all of you. Be sure to like and subscribe. That's all we can hope for. And it just helps us support you and keep on doing what we're doing because it motivates us to do better, to get better, and to help you. Jacob, oh, wait, hold on. No, because we're not leaving. They want an encore. It was a bad pick for Tyler. He likes Adams, but I don't know about Stevenson. I don't know. Flip a coin. Do it right now. Marquise, flip a coin right now and let us know. I'm willing to stay on the air for another 25 seconds. Are you ready, Marquise? Tails, you take Mixon, you take A.J. Brown. Heads, you take Adams and Stevenson. Oh, come on, Marquise. I'll give you 30 seconds and we're out of here. Jacob, cue up your hot take while I'm thinking about it.
I'm banned from hot takes. Mine was terrible last week. You have
What was
have
it?
One.
What was it?
I don't even want to say it.
Dude, come on. Just tell me really quick. I forgot.
It was Tyrion Davis-Price. He had 0 points.
That's why it's a hot take, dude. Relax.
I'm banned for a week from hot takes.
That's why it was a hot take. Relax. Let's see. He's not coming, Jacob.
I guess he'll tell us next week.
That's a reason for you to come back, Marquise.
Hey,
let us know if you're taking it or not.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Here's my hot take, Jacob. You ready?
Ready.
Wan'Dale Robinson, 20+ fantasy points this week. Screw the dark horse. He's a wide receiver 2 with 1 upside this week. Let's get it. Have a good night. Peace.